All right, so I never see my neighbor's yard guy, ever. Right when I sit down here today to do this video, what do I have? My neighbor's yard guy mowing the yard. Two different times now, and I'm just ready to start. Okay, so let's just start then. And what is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video on my channel. For those who are new here, my name is Evan Andrews, and I am a content creator here on the internet, and I am serving up some behind the scenes tips, tricks, and different things like that here on my channel, all about filmmaking, photography, and even graphic design. So today's video is gonna be a little bit special. I'm gonna kind of show you guys what's in my gear bag and kind of show you a little bit of the things that I use on a daily basis to bring you videos like this and other things like commercial business work that I do for a living. If you want to see everything that I'm going to show you fits in and around this bag here, so it is going to be a fun one for us today. So a small disclaimer, if you are here to see kind of the latest gear and what everybody's using right now, just leave the video now because I'm not gonna show you anything that isn't probably several years old already. So I'm always behind the trends when it comes to the latest gear because I believe that not everybody is capable of watching something in 8K or whatever. So I wait a long time before I upgrade, and I kind of use what maybe everybody was using a few years ago because I get it at a cheaper rate and nobody knows the difference anyway. So if you are here to watch a latest gear review or he must have the coolest whatever, then just leave now because I'm not doing any of that. All right, so let's just jump into the bag and kind of see some of the stuff that I use on a daily basis on any shoot that I go to. So first thing you're always gonna need in your bag is a camera option. Because of past events, I always bring two cameras on every shoot that I go to. Story time. So on a recent shoot I went on a few months ago, I got there, got everything set up, and we were about 5 minutes from pressing record and starting the interview, and one of my cameras malfunctioned. It was a Canon 7D, and for those that know, they use the older, bigger style SD cards that have the prongs in them, and you have to slide that in, and if they get bent, then it can malfunction and not record. And that happened to me right after I tested everything and took the card out, went and looked at the footage, went to put it back in, something got bent, and that was the end of my time there. But I didn't panic, used my iPhone for the second view, and it worked out okay. It wasn't my favorite thing, and I wish that that hadn't have happened, but things like that do happen, so you always have to be prepared. So I'm always having two cameras with me, no matter what, and the two cameras that I use are the one that you guys have seen in the past, the trusty Canon T3i, and then one that I can't show you because I'm using it for this video is the Sony A7 III. I recently upgraded to the Sony after being a Canon user for so many years. I wanted to upgrade from the Canon, and because of price points and kind of the deal that I found on the Sony, I decided to kind of switch over and, you know, see how that worked for me. And so far it's going great. I enjoy it. The menu system is kind of whatever, but all in all, the picture quality is pretty good, so I'm happy with the results. The package that I found, I think I got it through B&H. It was the Sony body. It came with an SD card and I think an extra battery and like a hip carrying bag. I got that whole setup for just under $2,000, and it was kind of a pretty good deal that I found there through B&H with, I think, a promo code that I used or something. It worked out well for me. Some of the Canons that were the Sony equivalent, they were just a little too far out of my price range, so I landed with the Sony, and hey, it works for me so far. So the lenses that I use for my two cameras, for the Sony option, I have two prime lenses. One is a Rokinon 24mm f2.8 lens, and that's what you're seeing me on right now. This is a really good for pretty much any wide angle that I need to do. It's great for vlogging if I'm doing something like that. I also keep an 85mm Rokinon lens for my Sony as well. This one's a manual lens. I'm usually using that for tight shots. It really is good. It's got a 1.4 aperture, so I can get really blurry backgrounds and stuff. It's great for interviews and really gives me some sharp crispness that I like in my video quality. Those are the two lenses that I have currently for my Sony option. I'm in the process of getting a zoom lens and saving up for that, but you know, everything comes in due time. So for my Canon, I always have two lenses for that one as well. I have this Tamron 18-270 lens. It gives me a wide range of different options for kind of all-purpose shooting. And then I also keep the trusty Nifty 50 from Canon in my bag as well, because this has a 1.8 aperture and I can just get my really good crisp tight shots with this lens as well. So this one's a great one to have. This one is about, I think about $100 or so. You can buy these even local, as like I think Best Buy carries this lens. So it's not too crazy expensive, but it gives pretty good quality stuff for people who might just be starting out. So next on the list is you're gonna want some sort of stabilization tool to possibly stabilize these cameras if you're doing something where maybe you're in the video similar to something like this, and that is you're going to need a tripod. I use this simple Manfrotto tripod. It's got like 4 different layers of height and then a final 5th one that's just the head. It goes up and down as well, and it fits really well into a tight little space inside of a bag that hooks onto the loop of my backpack, and it all is a very tight footprint. So I really recommend getting a small tripod like this. I think I got this at Best Buy and it was about $100 or so as well. So get you something that's easy to use, but don't skimp out and be cheap if you are going to be putting high-end cameras like a $2,000 camera here. Don't skimp out on the quality though, because low quality subpar tripods can land you in hot water with not holding up your expensive camera equipment very well. So get something that has good base and that is sturdy enough and that it's not going to fall over every second you maybe look away. So can you guys hear him? I don't know if you guys can hear him. He's mowing the lawn again, but I'm gonna battle through it because I'm on a time crunch now and you know, I can't really stop. So sorry if you guys can hear the guy mowing in the back. Next up that I always bring with me on any shoot that I go on is this FranckNStyne 4K viewing field monitor. It is, I think, about just over 5 inches. This is the light version of the A6. This is not the regular A6 version. I opted for the light version simply due to the money aspect. I think the non-light version I think is like almost $200, and this one I think I got it for around 75, give or take a little bit there. But it's really good. It has a lot of different capabilities as far as the settings. You can custom do the colors. It has false colors in it and even focus assist. So if your camera has focus assist, it works well in, you know, keeping everything in focus that you want. So what's great about it too is it runs off of the E6, the LP E6 batteries from my previous mentioned Canon D that I used to have. So I keep a couple of these bad boys with me, plug it in, boom, it goes. It also has DC in output. If I wanted to do some kind of battery pack or dummy battery kind of setup, I could always plug right into that. But it's for the bang for the buck, this is something I would suggest, and that's the FranckNStyne A6 Lite field monitor. Next thing we are going to come across in my bag, and this is a necessity to be able to shoot anything with your camera, is having SD cards. I always keep about 5 or 6 SD cards with me on every shoot, and they vary in sizes from 16 gigs to, I think I have something that's like 200 or something like that. But I have a few varieties of cards from their speeds and everything, as sometimes I might be shooting in 4K and I need a little bit faster of a card to process the image. So have you a few different cards. They can range from as cheap as like $20 to a couple $100 depending on the speed that you want to get, but you never need to do overkill. Just get something that works with the compatibility of what you're working with and you should be fine. And just always have a few extra. I even got this cool little case for it. It holds 6 different SD cards and has 2 sides, so it works well. And this is just a couple dollars on Amazon, so it comes in a few different colors and kind of keeps track of your cards for you. I highly recommend having several different cards and a holder for them. All right, and rounding out a few of the things that I would have on any shoot that I go on are some external microphones. And in one of my previous videos, I explained that I use a couple different kinds of microphones. I use shotgun microphones like this Rode video mic right here. This one is a very old version. This one's probably about 10 years old or so. It definitely does need to be upgraded, and that is something that I'm currently working on. Something like this goes well mounted right onto the camera and gives you better audio than what's going to come out of the microphone in the camera. And another thing that I also carry around with me just in case I need to is a lavalier microphone setup. Sometimes in doing things that call for maybe walking around or some kind of movement or something like that in my scene, if I don't have somebody operating sound for me, I might have to do this lav setup. This particular one I have right here, this was very inexpensive. I got them on Amazon. It's probably not the best option, but it works, and it does give of, again, better audio quality than just coming out of the camera. I got this for about 40 bucks, and I have a plug that plugs directly into my phone, and I use my voice memo app on my phone to record the audio. This isn't necessarily the best thing, but it works for the level on most of the stuff that I'm doing. I definitely would suggest having something like a Zoom recorder or something that you could record out of. So I understand that not everybody can go out and just buy $200 or $300 worth of audio equipment, so we just work with what we can within the budget that we have and just try and do the best of our ability. To be able to monitor all that audio, you are gonna want to have some headphones with you. These are the headphones that I usually use, and these are definitely overkill. These are some Sennheiser Studio headphones. They allow you to hear a real flat frequency and kind of a large range of information. So these are definitely overkill at like 120, 150 bucks that I got them at. But I got these a long time ago for a different thing I was doing at the time, and they just work really well for me. I mean, you could get away with maybe some Beats or something like that, but the higher quality, the headphones, the kind of better sound quality you can potentially have by finding those areas that aren't very good. So keep some headphones with you to just be able to monitor what you're hearing when you are doing sound checks on your shoots. The final thing that I always carry with me on every shoot that comes with my bag is my camera cage with the handle. This camera cage is a small rig setup that I use. It just helps me for better stabilization in handheld shots and really just kind of compacts everything that I need into one small footprint. I have it connected to a rail system that then connects to a quick release for like my tripods, and the rail system will just handle extra accessories like handles or shoulder mount grip, so anything that I really need. It works really well for me. So the cage is not a necessity to have at the beginning of your journey, but as you progress and as you do upgrade your equipment, it is something that I do recommend to kind of carry you into the next level as far as perceived value for yourself as a videographer and the capabilities of the stabilization that it offers in your final product. And that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the sneak peek into the camera bag and the gear that I use to bring you all of my videos and all of the client work that I do deliver. If you did not already, make sure you go like this video and subscribe to my channel, and come back every Friday at 8 a.m. where I will be releasing another video. I really appreciate everybody who has already subscribed and continues to send me great messages on how I'm doing so far, and I just really appreciate it, you guys. We're only gonna go up from here. So come back next Friday, 8 a.m. for another video. Peace out, you guys.